guys, Miss Jessica here, and welcome to day 30 of our daily draw for December. Can't believe we're almost to the end of December into our brand new year. But today we're going to be drawing lots of bows, as you guys can see here, and just having fun decorating the outside with different themes for the holidays. So have some fun, grab your color pencils and your markers and a paper and a pencil, and let's go ahead and begin. Now for me, I'm just going to move these out of the way, and I'm going to grab my paper. And I'm going to use my Sharpie to draw with you guys today, but as always, just make sure you use your pencil. Now we're going to be making 3 different kinds of bows, and we're also going to be decorating the background. Now the background can be anything you want. It doesn't have to be candy canes and little peppermints. You guys can just have fun with that. So we're going to focus on our 3 bows today. If you remember all the way back to when we made a wreath on like day 2 or 3, we're going to draw the same kind of bow, but if this is your first time drawing it, just follow along. We're going to start up in the top left of our paper. We're going to do the middle, and it's going to kind of look like a circle or maybe like a square, just kind of a fun shape. Bows kind of take on whatever shape that you kind of bend it into. Now, just like maybe a bow you've drawn before, we're going to go on these sides here. It's going to be kind of tilted, not straight, but kind of diagonal. And I'm going to draw a curved line up on top and bottom and connect it together. Same thing on the other side, 2 curved lines coming out and connect it together. So you've maybe drawn a bow like this before, but now we're going to add 2 more of these little loops on the top and 2 more on the bottom. So let's watch. I'm going to go from the middle, curving it up, and then start on the end of our ribbon here, small line curved up, and connect those together. And then my other one's kind of hiding, so I'm going to start up at the top here, curve it up, 1 more, and connect those together. So there's no wrong way to do it. Try and see if you like it. Please make sure to press pause anytime you need to work on that bow or just finish anything you didn't get to. We're going to do the same thing on the bottom, so I'm going to start in the middle and curve it down. Jump to the edge, add a little curve, and connect that together. And then I just need 1 more, so I'm going to draw 2 more little curves coming out and connect that together. That's going to be our first ribbon today, our first bow. And next, I'm going to jump over here and draw 1 more, the spiky one. Maybe you've seen that on packages during this time of the year. Please make sure to pause, finish up that bow, and just press play and you're ready to move on. All right. Now this one can be a little tricky, so try your best. If you end up not liking it, you don't even need to draw this bow. Maybe there's only 2 on your paper today, or maybe there's just 1. I just want to encourage you guys to try. So I'm going to start right here. Now I'm going to pretend this is the middle, but I'm not going to put any marks on my paper. I'm maybe just put my finger here. And where the middle of my bow will be, I'm going to draw a triangle, but watch how my triangle is not pointy. It's more curved. So it's kind of curving down at an angle. I'm going to draw 1 more up towards the top and another one kind of hiding underneath. So look how it makes 3 small triangles make 1 big triangle. So please go ahead, pause the video and work on that if you need to. Try your best. Again, there's no wrong way. All ribbons kind of look different. But when you are ready, just move on with me. If you remember from our poinsettia picture we did, we're going to create different triangles now in the spaces around it. So I'm going to come up here, and in between those 2 triangles, I'm going to draw 1 more. Jump to the bottom, do the same thing again, and on the left side. Again, trying to make curvy triangles, not too pointy, and not too skinny either. These are pretty big. All right, and we're going to do the same thing again here. In between, just some more triangles all the way around. Now, there's no wrong way. Now, maybe you don't want to add a triangle up at the top because you didn't think it looked good. That's up to you. But I'm just going to add a few more on the sides. But I'm not going to put anything over here on the right. So it almost looks as if it's a cactus, maybe a little succulent. But when we go to shade it in, it'll look much more like a ribbon. And I'm going to add some little ribbon pieces kind of coming off to the right. So I'm going to add 2 of those. If you'd like to add these, you can, or you can just put another triangle to complete your bow. But great job, guys. That is the end of our second bow. And our last one is much easier. It's a classic bow that you might tie in your hair or put on a picture. So we're going to go down to the bottom left now, and I'm going to make kind of an oval shape for the middle of my bow, keeping it pretty big. Now, just like we did up here, we're going to draw the tops and sides, and we're just going to do that for the left and the right. And that'll be it. We're just going to do it for the two sides, and to show that it looks a little more 3D, I want you guys to go to the top corner, and you're going to curve it down and touch the oval. Again, from the top corner, curve it down and touch that oval. And there it kind of looks like the inside of the bow. And to kind of finish it off, just like we did over here, we're going to draw some spikes. So I'm going to start on the end of my ribbon, curve it down like a little V, and then up to the bottom of the bow. Same thing on the other side, curve it down like a V, up to the bottom of the bow. Now that is the end of our ribbons, but if you would like to decorate the background, please do so. I'm going to add a few things here and there, little candy canes, peppermints, but if you want to do something different, go ahead and work on that now. I'm going to go to the top above my big bow, and I'm going to draw a candy cane. Let's see, I'm going to start like a hook, and then curve it up on the ends, and just draw another small one in the middle. Then I can add all my stripes all the way around. And that'll be the end of that candy cane. Then I'll go to the top corner, and I'm going to draw a circle for my peppermint. Now, peppermints can be tricky to draw. We need to draw 6 curved lines. So I start in the middle with a little circle, and we curve those up all the way around. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. It's important to have 6 because if you have any less, then you won't be able to do a pattern around it. Now in between, I'm going to add some larger circles like so, but we can always decorate it more later. So go ahead, I'm just going to add a couple more little peppermints everywhere. 5, 6, spreading them around. Try not to make them too close together. And maybe a couple more of these little circles. And maybe another candy cane. I'm going to have it go the opposite direction now. And I can't forget my stripes. Now, if you need to go ahead and work a little bit more on what you're creating in your background, please do so. But this is officially the end of our drawing, and we're going to jump to our coloring here and tracing. So finish drawing, press play when you're all ready. Now, we need to trace our picture. So what I want you guys to do is grab a Sharpie and trace everything you see. Any creativity you did in the background, all of the bows, and it could take you a little time because we drew quite a bit. So please make sure to pause your video now, trace everything, and press play when you're all done. All right, guys, so for today, we're just going to be using markers and color pencils. We're going to start with our color pencils because it's the longest step that we are going to have. Here's mine. We're going to be shading our bows with some different colors. And I want to remind you of our color scheme. I know we've done it this whole time, but again, it's red and green, blue, black, and white with a little bit of silver and gold thrown in if you would like to add it. So let's start with our biggest bow up here at the top. Now, in my original picture, I did green, then I did a silver and a blue, but you guys can do any color you want. So I'm just going to do green again because I really like that one. And I'm going to grab a dark green color pencil. So look for your dark green. And we're going to do some cross hatching. Now, if this is a little tricky or maybe you've never done it before, try. And if you don't like it, you can always just color this in however you want. But I just want to show you guys something new today. All right, so we're going to take our pencil, and I'm going to start here on just a bottom one. And along the bottom, I'm going to draw some diagonal lines that come up, just along the bottom, almost like little grass. Once I get all the way across, I'm going to draw some going the opposite direction, right over the top. And that's called cross hatching. It's when your lines cross, and a hatch mark is just a quick line you make. So they don't have to be perfect or even or straight. Sometimes it's the best when they're not perfect or even or straight. So let's do that on the ends of all the big parts of just this bow. So again, start in one direction and then switch. I'm going to turn my paper so it's easy for me, and I suggest to do the same. Diagonal, switch directions, and we're just doing the bottom right now of this nice big bow with our green or whatever color you would like to use today. Now, once you guys get the hang of it, it'll be much easier to add these, and we're going to put them on all 3 bows today. This pointy one's actually going to be a little different. If you didn't draw all 3 bows, that's okay. You're just going to work on the ones you do have. All right, now if you still, I guess, again, at any point need to take time to do so, but I'm just going to keep on going with our next step here. So now we're going to go underneath right here, and we're going to add some cross-hatching right in between, or right underneath the center of the bow. Now I like to add these curved lines. If you already did, awesome. If you didn't, you can add them now. Maybe you want to just trace that with your color so at least you can see it. Then using the same color you have, we're going to add our cross hatching right along next to the center of the bow, again on each side. So you're just going to do one direction, switch just like before. This part's a little small, so I don't need too much. So let's go ahead and just work on that. All the way across, diagonal, again, just right down at the bottom. Okay, almost done, just add a little more. Make sure they're long. Notice how I just have it on the edges, but it's not a teeny tiny line I'm making, it's a pretty big line. All right, darken that a little bit more. Now to just kind of add a little extra, what you can do is if you want to, you can even bring the cross hatching up a little bit on each part of the ribbon. So I'm going to do it on the left side. You don't have to do this. If you want to practice though, maybe you're kind of getting the hang of it, you can. But as long as you add some sort of color to your bow, it's going to look really good. It doesn't matter if it's cross hatching or if it's just coloring it in. So just adding a little bit. Add more lines kind of in the center there. All right. And the last thing for this bow that we're going to work on is the center. We're just going to go along the bottom. We're just going to add some diagonal lines coming up just at the bottom and in the opposite direction. Now, you might be thinking, well, it's just the edges are green or pink or purple, whatever you're using. What about the inside? Inside, you're going to take the lighter color now. So a lighter green or a lighter version of whatever you're using. You want to keep it nice and flat, and you're just going to very, very gently and carefully press light and fill in the center of all the part of the bow. You can go over the cross hatching. I recommend it. Go in opposite directions to make sure you get all your white spots. Take your time. I want you guys to pause if you need to, finish filling it in. Again, you don't want to press too hard because then your hand will start to hurt. You should press so soft that it's barely touching that paper, and you might need to add layers to make it darker. But we do want it to be much lighter than the cross-hatching shading that we did on the ribbon. So great job, guys. Now that we kind of got the hang of it, we did that a lot on this ribbon, we're going to do the same thing for our other two as well. Now, you can change colors, of course, so I'm going to do a silver. Now, since I'm doing silver, I'm actually going to just be using one color. But if you'd like to use maybe a dark blue and then a light blue, you can. This one's going to be a little different because it's shiny. So what you're going to do is on every single one of these triangles you see, you're going to add cross-hatching on the top and the bottom. So that means next to the point, just like so. This one's a little trickier to see because it's a little lighter. You're going to be doing the same thing, just like that. And let's go ahead and do that to every single one. So start at the point, go down on the left and the right, adding your cross lines, diagonal, and then switch directions. Add a little more. So take your time, pause if you need to. And then we're not quite done yet. We still have one more thing we're going to do to this to make it look a little more realistic, like it's shiny. If you guys have some metallic markers or Sharpies, You could also trace the whole ribbon in that metallic or do your cross hatching in it. So that way it looks a little bit more shiny actually in real life. That would be pretty cool. Now, if you have so many triangles, maybe you drew more than me, it's going to take you a little bit longer, but that's okay. Just keep on going. If your hand starts to hurt, just take a little rest. We're doing a lot of colored pencil today. Maybe press a little softer. Don't press so hard. With colored pencils, we tend to press hard, but we really just should press nice and soft. Again, your lines don't need to be perfect, so it's okay if you go a little quicker with cross hatching because you want it to look a little bit, not messy, but a quicker line, not a perfect line. And don't color the whole thing in unless that's what you're doing. But with cross hatching, remember, we want to leave the center a little lighter. All right, I'm on my last one, but please pause and finish up what you need to. And I just want to finish maybe with my little ribbon pieces down here. I'm just going to do it on the bottoms, not the top. All right, guys, so for this, to make it look shiny, don't do it on every single triangle piece, just choose a couple. You're going to go to the middle and you're just going to add some side-to-side lines in the middle. Let me try that again here so you can see right in the middle, same color. Don't fill it in. You're just going to add some in the middle of every once in a while, just on the triangle pieces. You don't need to do a lot, but it just adds a little bit extra. Now, if you're doing gray, you can just leave it the white paper. You don't need to color it in, or just very lightly with your gray, press very soft so you don't cover up any lines, and you can just very gently shade it. Or if you're using a color, please go ahead and grab the lighter version, and just like before, very gently shade it in so you can see a little bit of that lighter color. And I'm going to color in this middle area kind of dark. All right. Put that away when you're done, but please continue if not. Last thing is our bow down here. Now, we did a lot already, and so you guys might already know what to do. So if you feel confident in it, go ahead and color that in. This is the only thing we're going to do with colored pencil with our bows, and then for the outside, you're going to use marker, and then whatever else you need to finish up your project. Now I'm going to do a blue for my bottom one, so I'm going to grab a dark blue. My cross-hatching is going to be much easier. So I'm going to start up here on these little ovals, and I'm just going to fill it in all the way solid. This is very dark. It's where the shading would be on the inside of the bow, overlapping. And then once I'm done coloring it in, I can actually add my cross-hatching on top, so it'll match the bow. So I can go in one direction and then switch and go the opposite. Might not be super easy to see, but you can still see that it's there, and it will look match all the rest of the bows that we've made. So go ahead and work on that inside part of your bow. Now for the rest of it, we're going to cross hatch just the bottom. It's going to make it much easier, much faster. So keep your same color. Go to your ribbon pieces here. We're going to start on the side and go to the bottom. Then I'm going to go the opposite direction, like so. Let's do that again. Add a little more if you need to. On the opposite side, we're going to go to the side and the bottom. Then you're just going to go the opposite direction and leave the middle just as is, right here. But for the actual middle of the bow, you're just going to do the left side and the bottom, both directions, leaving everything else just white. And the bottoms of these pieces down here. Don't go all the way around, just the bottom and the opposite direction. And that, you guys, is the end of cross-hatching. Oh, but don't forget to fill it in with a lighter blue when you're done, or whatever color you chose. But that is the end of our colored pencils. That was so much work, but probably something you didn't know and you learned new today. So great job. For the background, it's going to be anything you want because maybe you drew something different than I did. And we're going to be using our markers today so that way we can rest our hands from our colored pencil work. So you can put these away when you're done and grab out your markers. Again, you can use any color you want. I'm going to stick with my color theme here. I have a lot of candy, so I'm going to use red. So I want you guys to go ahead and just begin. Take your time too. Maybe your hand hurts so much that you just can't color right now. That's fine. You can go ahead and stop the video, maybe come back to it in just a little bit, rest your hand, take a break. Understandable. But you're just going to have fun coloring in the background. I like to do patterns. So on my peppermints, I'll color every other one. You can do any color. It doesn't have to be red. Peppermints come in different flavors, even green, like spearmint. So just go around your picture, have fun coloring things in. Now, one thing I will show you that's not here, and again, continue to use all the colors you want. Maybe I'll use a little yellow to look like sparkles here. But you can also take your markers, and even though you did all these dots that are a little larger and coloring them in, you can take maybe green or whatever color you'd like, and you can add smaller dots all over. It makes it look extra fun. They're a little hard to see on my screen, but if you do it in front of you, you should be able to see. You can do more than one color. I'll do lots of dark green all around your picture. Then I'm going to grab a lighter green and do the same thing. You can do different colors. Doesn't have to just be the same color. So have fun decorating the rest of that picture. If you want, you can even do chalk pastel in the background to cut. You can just go over your marker, but don't go over those bows. Those look too good. And you guys, that's going to be the official end of our project for bows today. So please finish up your background if your colors that you need. But I want to say thank you so much and awesome job today. That was a lot of hard work. We did really good. Rest those hands up. My name is Miss Jessica. I'll see you guys again soon and have a happy new year.